Alright guys, so I'm going to be reviewing this Klein tool. This is a networking wire cutter, crimper, stripper, etc. I've used this a lot for my running network cables at my house. I also had a video of me using this when I was running a network cable at my barn. So I really like this tool. It goes for about $45 on Amazon. I'll leave a description link in the product in the description link below. And starting off, we have a blade right here, and you have two options. I don't know if you can read there or not. It says cut or strip. So when you close this, it kind of clicks and stays in place until you go all the way down, then it goes up. But as you bring that down, the blade will make contact all the way right here, cutting the wire, and over here it will only cut into the top part of the insulation of the wire, and you can turn the wire in there, turn this around the wire, and it'll strip it. Over here, this is where you would insert either your phone jack, which I don't think anybody really uses, the RJ11, or the RJ45, which is almost all networking Cat5, Cat6 cable jacks. This is an RJ45 right here. You'll insert it and it'll crimp it, and if you use like the pass-through RJ45 jacks like I have, where the cable actually passes through it, it will close and cut the cables off. There's also color coding right here to show you how to put the wire, what order to put the wiring when you put it into the RJ45 jack. There's a T568B and a T568A. You can use either one of these. Just make sure both ends are the same. Both ends have to be an A, or both ends have to be a B. I usually use the B. So we're going to go ahead and actually work on a wire. So let's go ahead and get that started. All right, so I got my Cat5 cable here, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off, just so you guys can see. I'll get a nice clean cut. Stick it over here in the cut section, press it down, cuts it right off. Super easy, super simple, very sharp. Now on the second one, we're going to strip it so we can get to those wires on the inside. So leave yourself enough room because you're going to have to untwist the wires and separate them a little bit. So I usually give myself a little more room than I need, but it's better than not having enough room and needing to do it over. So when you crimp it in the strip area, it won't cut through the wire. It should only cut the outside of this insulation, and then just twist the wire and then release it. Now that should have cut through the insulation, and we can pull it out. So just kind of bend it, and there's the insulation. So now we can get the inside wires. I would just double check, just make sure you don't see any exposed wiring on these little ones down here, just in case it cut all the way through. That can cause a problem with your networking later on. So what I do next is I bend these out, and then you have this like tether or something we need to cut off, and then this piece of plastic as well. So for that, you just need some scissors. You might be able to use that thing. I just use scissors for it, or some other tool to cut it. Just cut it down as low as you can without nicking any of the other wires. So there's still a little bit left. That tether is sometimes a pain to cut. All right, so we got that cut down, as you can see. I'm just checking the wires to make sure I didn't nick them and expose any of the copper wire underneath. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to untwist each one of these wires. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now that they're untwisted, you can see they're like really wavy. The best way I found to kind of straighten these out is just take your finger, push your nail into it, pinch it, and just kind of push out back and forth a few times. You see it straightens the wire out. So we can do that for the rest of them. All right, so we have the wire straightened out. Now, next thing we need to do is we need to look at how to run those wires in what order through the RJ45 jack. So if you were to insert this into here to crimp it, you would need the orange-white on the right and end with the brown on the left. So it would go right to left, orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. And so that's the order we're going to need to get them in before we insert them into that jack. So you got the orange and orange white over here. It's kind of hard for you guys to see this. And then next we're going to need the solid green. Nope, I lied. We need the striped green, the green white. Now we need the solid blue. And if they start getting all tangled up or not straight, you can kind of wiggle them around like that. Do what I did earlier with your thumb, straighten them out. And then we need, after the blue, we need the blue white. And then the solid green. And then the brown, white, brown. So once you think you have all these in order, kind of straighten them out with your fingers. So left to right, we have orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. And what I like to do, you can probably use that for this, is I'm just, see how the ends aren't exactly perfectly straight. I'm going to go ahead and use some scissors and just cut these, make it really straight. All right, so now we have the RJ45 jack. Like I said, when you insert it here, the orange white needs to start on the right side. So we have everything in order, and what we're going to do is we're going to feed it into here and push slowly. And on these RJ45 jacks, mine are pass through, so the wires will come out the other side. So go ahead and push it through. Now I like to, you should get the insulation up where the crimp is. This is where the crimper tool will push that down, as well as push these metal pieces into the wire to make a connection. If you don't have the insulation far enough up and you crimp it, it won't really grab the wire inside of here. The wire will be kind of loose, you can wiggle it around. So I like to push it up far enough where the insulation will definitely get pinched when I crimp it. So if we look at this, from right to left, we got the orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, got the brown, white, brown. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and slide it through. Make sure you have it, push it all the way in. You see how these are sticking out? Now when we go to crimp it, it'll cut all these off and make a nice clean connection. There we go. Nice clean cutoff right there. Nothing really sticking out. And everything looks like it looks correct. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll use my testing tool to see if we did this correct. All right guys, so I've got actually a Klein Network testing tool. You can also test your like phone line, coax cable, as well as your network cable that you put together. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to take the bottom out, plug one end into here, plug the other side into this top area, press the power button, and then hit the network. And if we get a pass, here we go. So everything passed. All numbers match up, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, etc. So this cable's good to use again. Anyway, that is my review on this Klein networking tool. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.